Grandpa Wayne and Dad for Veronica Cada informative speech.
The passing of Robin Williams is not only tragic, but points out a problem that affects millions in the United States every year. Depression and other problems associated with depression start during the high school years before the age of 18. Depression can be treated if caught in the early stages. In order to be more aware of the issue in our community, it is necessary to understand what depression is and how it worsens, understand how many people depression affects, and finally examine what treatment options there are for depression. It is important to understand exactly what depression is and how it gets worse. According to Sewell, depression is the shutting down of emotive self. This means that individuals are unable to sense their feelings or incapable of having feelings like others would. When depression occurs, it can often lead individuals to want to be alone. As Bell points out, mood disorders and high anxiety feed into the problem of depression. While some people may not have feelings, there is a high likelihood that they suffer from high anxiety in certain situations. Speculations have been thrown around about the passing of Robin Williams that he was always expected to be great, and this likely worsened his depression. Depression is not usually occurring alone, though, and it can usually get worse. For example, Melodrama says alcoholism patients are 3.9 times more likely to develop depression. Addicts with depression have a worse problem. Depression is a problem that needs to be discussed more in the United States and around the world. After learning what depression is, it is necessary to understand how it affects people. Chances are that someone you know suffers from either addiction or depression, and most likely both. Melodrama writes, 28% of Americans with alcoholism also have depression. This number gets larger if you factor in drug addiction as well. While 28% may not seem like a very large number, Bell explains, 20 million people are addicted to alcohol and drugs and have a high risk of depression. This high risk is perhaps what makes depression so dangerous. Depression combined with alcohol or drugs can cause the body to have little or no control over itself. The inability to have feelings combined with the effect that alcoholism can cause people to act ways that they usually wouldn't. This is largely a reason that the National Suicide Hotline number has over 3,000 calls a day, according to Sewell. These numbers have only increased in the past few years, and despite that fact, little has been done to combat the problem. Only by being aware can we understand the problem more fully. The National Suicide Hotline prevention number is linked at the bottom of the video. After learning about depression and how it affects people, the only reasonable that we be informed about treatment and how to help individuals. There are many resources for depression and alcoholism, but not really for the both of them combined. This has further led to hardly anything being done about it. While nothing exists to combat both, there are some resources available. Melodrama states that the National Institute on Alcohol and Abuse and Alcoholism gives a lot of information that can help someone struggling with alcohol. Sewell also points out that help is always available at the National Suicide Hotline Prevention. Friends and family are extremely important to someone who is suffering from depression. Even a person who wants to be alone, it is critical that they know they are not. As a nation, Bell says, we have to decide that it is an important issue and pursue answers. By being aware about depression and the effects of it, we can decide that it is an important issue. For more answers and additional help, there are videos linked at the bottom of the page. Depression affects many people in the United States. We now have more information on what depression is and how many people are affected and ways that we can help. Our age group is the most critical to stay away from addiction and have a lower chance of having depression. Be aware of those around you and inform others of how to be safer and aware of signs of depression. Robin Williams' death, while tragic, may spark the conversation needed in this nation about depression.